Thanks for joining us for another Tantrum House crowdfunding conniption. Today we'll be taking a look at the new game Fractured Sky, which is coming to Kickstarter soon.
Before we jump in, we do want to make sure you're aware that our crowdfunded videos are sponsored in part by our own Kickstarter backers, as well as by the creators of this game. Thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're talking about Fractured Sky from IV Studios. It's from designers Max Anderson, Zach Dixon, and Austin Harrison.
Fractured Sky is an area influence game for 1 to 5 players, where players will be sending their airships out in order to control floating islands in search of the coveted starfalls. Now in this video we're not going to share any opinions, but we do want to give you an idea of what it looks like out on the table and how it plays so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to becoming a backer on Kickstarter.
And if you want to see this game in action, we'll also be doing a live playthrough on our channel soon. So until then, let's jump in and take a look at the prototype.
To set up the game, you'll place the board on the side for your player count. You'll reveal one public starfall card, slide one hidden starfall card face down into the tray, and then fill the top slots of the tray with the hidden objective cards.
Give each player their game tray, they'll select 4 resources, and then you're ready to begin.
On your turn, you'll take one action. You can build by spending the necessary resources to place a market or a fortress out onto a floating platform, each of which is connected to a number of floating islands.
Or you could build a skimmer to be placed on an island.
Or you can place one of your airships on an island. Airships will be given a hidden troop power. Players must keep the total power of all 3 of their airships to 10 or below.
If a player is the first to place an airship on an island, they receive a leftover hidden starfall card. This card will reveal one of the locations that the starfall for the round will not be located on.
The other action a player can choose to take on their turn is to peek or scout. It will cost them any 2 resources to look at one of the objective cards, or 2 gold to look at a starfall location card.
Collecting the most starfalls will give you the win.
After a player looks at the location card, they can choose to receive a resource from the card, but they will place a cube marking which resource they took, giving other players a clue as to what island it might be at.
Once everyone's airships are on the board, the round ends and the cards for the round are revealed.
The player with the most power at the starfall location will gain their reward.
Players will also receive a starfall for completing the objective for the round.
The power of each player is determined for each island and rewards are gained. And then airships are returned and everything is reset for the next round.
So Fractured Sky is played over 5 rounds. So the first round you'll have 1 hidden starfall card, and then 2, 3, 4, and so on. And there are 5 different objectives that you'll reveal one for the round at the end of the round, each round. So there's 5 of those as well, which are 5 different ways to gain victory points, which are the starfalls.
One of the neat things is that when you take that scout or that peek action and you look at those objective cards, for the objectives you get to leave your token out there to mark that you've seen it, and so you can then refresh yourself on what that is later in the game. If you're able to get out several tokens, then you'll know what the goals are for the last 3 or 4 rounds of the game, and those goals will be things like have the most power at this location, or be able to beat everybody else types of things, so you'll be able to win those starfall pieces, and that's how you are going to win the game, having the most of those.
Yeah. One thing we didn't go over much is that your airships can only have a power of 10 total between the 3. So there are 2 of the tokens that you'll use, magnetic tokens that you'll stick on the bottom of your airship, and the number will be hidden. There's 2 that are white. So you'll know it's either a 1 or it's a 10. So you could put a 10 out and probably win the location, but then you're going to have to use zeros on the other 2 airships, so it's kind of risky. Those airships don't actually get you anything unless you have a fortress nearby on a platform. So you'll have to be really careful if you end up using that 10. If you do go over, there is a penalty, and it's pretty steep. So let's say you accidentally put 15 out instead of 10, then you're 5 over. So now you're going to deduct 5 off of every single one of your airships, which probably means you're not getting any benefits for your power.
It's hard to know. A lot of it is bluffing. Did I play the 1? Did I play the 10? I don't know that we explained how the fortresses work either. They give you 1 additional power to your ship. So if you do play that 10 and you have a fortress there, you're at 11. If you play a 0 and you have a fortress there, at least you have a 1. Sometimes that's enough to be able to get the 2nd or 3rd place rewards, which, since resources are a little tight in this game, you're going to need to get some of those markets and some of those fortresses out, which is going to happen steadily over the course of the game, because by the end of 5, you're going to have a lot of those spaces filled up on the board, which is going to help you shift the balance of power. One other interesting thing in the game is the ability to, when you lay your last starship, your spaceship, that ship, you get to choose your turn order. And so when you go out, you can decide, do I want to be the first? Do I want to be the last? I might get a bonus of a coin if I go last. But going first, whoever is in that first marker is the tiebreaker. And there are a lot of ties that happen in this game. So it's really valuable to be able to stick that first marker spot for yourself. However, going last is also really valuable because you can see where everybody's going.
Yep. So, pros and cons about how you play your ships. If you're going to be real aggressive and get them all out quickly, but then sit back and maybe the next round you choose to go last so that you can see what everybody else does. So there's all kinds of things that can happen.
Very simple mechanics. You're only doing 1 action on your turn, 1 of like 3 things. But do you bluff? Do you overpower? Do you lots of decisions to be made. In this game, we are looking at prototype components. However, my understanding is that the game will come with all of the player trays, that it'll hold all your stuff, that it'll pack in the box. You've got those magnets on all the pieces. Lots of neat components in this game.
Yeah. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, you can check out Fractured Sky from IV Studios. Be sure to check out our playthrough video so you can see all of the gameplay in action. And then thank you so much for checking out our videos here and subscribing to Tantrum House.
In search for the coveted Skyfalls. Now in this video, Starfalls. There'll be new locations for the Skyfall. It is Skyfall? Starfall, Fractured Sky.
To try and gain those Starfall. Let me start it.